Greetings, observers. The one speaking to you is the CEO of Gambits and Thieves Incorporated, the biggest gaming production house in the world and the owner of Lucky and his Nuzlocke channel. You all watched the first episode. For those of you who didn't, you definitely should do it, and do it now. So do it. Basically, Lucky here is on a journey of a lifetime, trying to defeat Nuzlocke challenges of a set of vanilla games, followed by some of the most popular RomHacks, which will, in our eyes, make him the king of the Nuzlocking world. In our last video, we defeated Pokemon Ruby, our first obstacle in becoming the true Himothy. Now it has come the time for him to face the second challenge, a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Fire Red. We were, of course, present during these challenging times for Lucky Nuzlockes, and have recorded the whole endeavor, from start to finish. If you want to be relevant to anybody in the future, I strongly recommend you to stay tuned for the video, and, of course, subscribe to the channel and do it ASAP. So, Pokemon Fire Red. The game promises us a grand adventure and social skills development, which, God knows, I need. I press the A button eager for my adventure to start and get jumped by an old guy, claiming his name is Oak. He starts egoing, so I interrupt him by naming my character Lucky. Then he introduces me to his grandson whose name he forgot, so I named the Chad Alpha for some comedic satisfaction and reality denial. Our adventure starts by Oak ambushing us with a promise of giving us a Pokemon for our protection. He gives me the first choice, and then his grandson makes a big deal out of him not getting a Pokemon, like a true Alpha. I choose Bulbasaur for easy first 2 gems, which makes Alpha choose Charmander, being a bitch he is. I slap Oak's grandson around, and then pick up a parcel for the old man in Viridian City. After I give it back to him, he gives a Pokédex to me and his grandson. I catch Rattata on Route 1, Spearow on Route 22, and Pidgey on Route 2, and then I get a 5% Pikachu in Viridian Forest. Then the next Mon is Pikachu again, and after 2 more, another fucking yellow mouse. After throwing some calculations around, I came to the result of the chance for this being 1 in every 8,000 times. The first gym leader in Kanto is Brock, the Rock-type master. He is easy work for Pios Vine Whip, and, just like that, Lucky gets his first badge in Kanto. Route 3, I catch myself a Jigglypuff. Then, in the Pokemon Center on Route 4, I buy a bootleg Magikarp from this half-naked guy. After disposing of some Pokemon Rocket Grunts and a Fanatic Neurotic, I win myself one of the 2 MT Moon fossils, and I choose the Helix fossil. After exiting MT Moon, a Karate Brown Belt teaches my Wigglytuff a move called Mega Punch. On Route 4, I catch myself an Ekans. Then Alpha decides to ambush me and pretend getting pussy makes him an expert in battling. This makes me enjoy wiping the floor with him that much more. Pikachu electrocutes Pidgeotto with 2 Thundershocks, and then Wigglytuff slaps everybody else the fuck around. After bitterly patronizing me for some time, Alpha decides to gift me a Fang Checker, a completely trivial and materialistic invention on my opinion. I beat young Al Capone on top of the bridge, then catch myself an Abra on Route 24, then an Oddish on Route 25. After beating a whole bunch of trainers, I enter an isolated house and help a Clefairy become a charming prince again. Really, this guy looks like Jamiroquai and Leonardo DiCaprio had a son. Mr. Handsome then hands me a ticket for the SS Ferry, asking me to go in his place. The next gym leader is Misty, the master of water types. I use Ivysaur to defeat Stereo. Starmie comes out, and I use a Vine Whip which does less than half. 2 Swifts put me down to 20 horsepower, but I managed to put it to sleep and set Leech Seed. After that I switch to my Gyarados and bite the star to death, which earns me the second gym badge. On Route 5 I managed to catch myself a Meowth. Then in Diglett Cave the first fiasco of the run happens. Forgetting these things have Arena Trap, I lead my Ivysaur and put the thing to sleep. After he wakes up, I try switching and, yeah. Life. On Route 11, I catch myself a consolation draw Z in SS and I commit to looting berries from trash cans. Then I have a fight with Alpha, mopping the deck with him easily. I rub the captain's back in a very strange 2-minute window, for which he rewards me with an HM for cut. After dominating the ferry, I decide to have a romantic moment with myself, watching the ship sail away and feeding of a feeble collection of positive memories I have. My next move is challenging the Vermilion City gym leader, Lieutenant Surge, an alleged war veteran. I win the fight easily with Zilch, the Raticate, Hyper Fong and Quick Attack for Voltorb, Dig for Pikachu, and 2 digs for Surge's final Pokemon, Raichu. This valiant effort grants me the Thunder Badge, which allows me to further my adventure. On Route 10, I catch a Voltorb, in Rock Tunnel I catch a Machop, and in Cerulean Mansion I steal an EEEVE from the depressed karate master turned English teacher. I also get myself a TEA from this nice lady, stack up on TMs and Evolution Stones in Cerulean Department Store, get myself Light Screen, Safeguard, and Reflect TMs from this underage little girl, and then hop to the diner for this body-positive deadbeat individual to gift me a coin case. The 4th gym leader is Erica, the Grass-type master. I use Hypno to assassin Victreebel with 2 confusions. Then I put Tangela back to sleep and also finish her off with 2 confusions. I also drop 1 confusion on Vileplume, then use Alfie, the Growlithe, to finish off the Vile Flower and earn myself the Rainbow Badge. Then I push a button behind a poster, dominate the villain's hidden base, and find the boss himself, sitting on a couch and rolling a blunt, like he is Lil Wayne or something. He gives me a villain speech then and challenges me to a battle. I'd like to name this fight Bullet Seed Greed, cause these fuckers be fiending for that bullet seed from Vileplume to the face. This is how it went. Next step is hopping down to Lavender Tower and slapping Alpha around just for fun. I catch myself a Ghastly on the next floor, then save an elderly man from Team Rocket on the final floor. The old guy calls me back to his crib for a tea, and gifts me a poke flute. I use my new toy to awaken a Snorlax on Route 16. I catch the animal there, and then catch a Doduo on Route 17, before Fuchsia City, fish a Goldeen in Fuchsia, catch a Venonat on Route 15, Horsia on Route 14, and fish up a Krabby on Route 19. In Safari Zone, I catch an Execute, then get a Surf HM from the farthest place in Safari Zone. The 5th gym leader is Koga, a ninja and a master of poison types. The fight itself is pretty simple, since I use Hypno to psychic every one of his Pokemon to the ground. While trying to save Sylph Company employees from the fangs of Team Rocket, I stumble upon Alpha walking around and observing crime happening beside him. He challenges me to a fight, and I decide to particularly kick his ass this time. Raichu annihilates Pidgeot and Gyarados with 1 Thunderbolt each. Execute takes 2 Thunderbolts and 1 Quick Attack to move to the Shadow Realm. On the Alakazam I switch to Maud the Hypno and nuke him with 2 headbutts. I drop 1 Psychic on the Charizard, then finish him with a Pumpy from Gyarados. Next up is Giovanni. We first do a cowboy stare down, after which he starts running towards me attempting a jumping middle kick. I dodge and he pulls a Pokeball from his pocket. The first one out is Nidorino. Gyarados uses a couple of bites to finish the Nidorino, then a Pumpy knocks out the Rhyhorn. I use Vileplume against Kangaskhan to drop Poison Powder and spit some seeds to the face of its baby. Then I go to Arbok to get some value from its Intimidate. In the end, I just finish the animal with Vileplume seeds. Gyarados' Hydro Pump does pitiful damage to Nidoqueen. I guess she is plus special defense or something. I finish her with 2 more Dragon Rages and save the world from evil people other than me for 1 more time. Giovanni then threatens to drown me in the Celadon City fountain, to which I spit in his face. He then notices he left his handkerchief on the reception and bounces to wipe his ugly mug. After that I'm finally free to challenge Sabrina, the Psychic-type gym leader. She starts Kadabra and I start Snorlax. I use Body Slam to murder the being, after which she throws a Mr. Mime at me. She sets up a barrier so 2 body slams are needed. The following Venomoth and Alakazam simply suffer the same fate, which gets me 6 gem badges. Finally, I make a short stop to Cinnabar Lab and talk to a very moody scientist who claims he makes fossils into Pokemon. I give him an old amber I got from Pewter Museum earlier, and he turns it into an Aerodactyl. The game forces me to go balls deep in a burning mansion to locate the secret key, which enables me to enter the gym and challenge Blaine, the Fire-type gym leader. He starts with a Growlithe, and I start Gyarados. I set up Rain Dance and proceed to Hydro Pump Blaine's first 4 Pokemon into yesterday evening. Against Arcanine I miss Pumpy, so I set up another Rain Dance and switch to my Seadra in order to take a shit on him. 7 badges. The last gym leader is none other than Giovanni, the Costco version of Al Capone. I use Fishy, my Sea King, to delete the first 2 of his Pokemon. Nidoqueen then nukes me with an Earthquake. My solution was simply switching to Seadra and deleting the rest of his meager, weak, filthy, disgusting, inferior team as it was nothing. 8 badges. I decide to take a stroll down the Hollywood Boulevard before the Pokemon League, where I stumble upon Alpha still being in denial about his trainer skills. We decide to settle it once more, and he starts with his little bird again. I start stomping his face into the concrete with my Kingler, and even try to cut his head off with Guillotine, but I miss. His Execute I kill with Fly and Quick Attack from my own Pidgeot. Seadra does the Rhyhorn in, after which he sends out Gyarados, and I go back to Kingler. I try beheading the Serpent with Guillotine for content, but I miss every one of them, so I'm forced to switch to Vileplume. Then I put him to sleep and do 7 damage with Bullet Seed. He switches to Charizard in the rain. Then this happens. Yeah. I switch to Seadra for 1 Surf, but I fail to kill, and send out Snorlax to finish the dinosaur. Snorlax stay in to finish the Gyarados also and drops a Body Slam on Alakazam. I get afraid of a Psychic Crit and switch to Hypno to finish him off. Alpha smugly advises me to practice more, so I give him a Body Shot, after which he runs home to Daisy. I make a short stop to the power plant to catch myself a Magneton, then head on to becoming the Pokemon League champion. This is the team I chose for deleting the Elite Four and the champion from the face of the earth. Behold. First member of the Elite Four is this hot bitch named Lorelei. She claims to be wielding ice types, but most of them are part water. Basically, I use my newly acquired Magneton to delete all of her Pokemon with Thunderbolt like it was nothing. The next one is the Steroid Head Elite Four Bruno, master of toxically masculine types. After swearing on God, he's natural, his roided up face sends out an Onix. I destroy him with a Surf from my Tentacruel, after which I do the same to his next Onix. The third one is Hitmonchan, who calls it a day after 2 Surfs. On the Hitmonlee, I throw my Serpent out and set up some Dragon Dances. I kill him with 1 EQ and then do the final Machamp with 2. The third Elite Four member is Oak's ex-girlfriend, Agatha. These two might have been dating during the Balkan Wars, cause this bitch is 1,000 years old. I enter first Gengar with a Shadow Ball from Snorlax. Golbat I finish with Thunderbolt, as well as the coming Haunter. Agatha's second Gengar puts me to sleep, but I heal it off with a Hell Chesto Berry. Thunderbolt brings him below half, but he manages to put me to sleep with a Hypnosis. I switch to On a Nightmare for free and drop the Ghost with a Shadow Ball. Her last Pokemon is Arbok. I body slam him once and switch to Gyarados to finish it with Earthquake. One more. The last Elite Four member calls himself Lance and is, allegedly, a Dragon-type master. I try to set up a Dragon Dance sweep on his Gyarados with my own. Instead of that, I kill him with some strengths, then switch to Magneton fearing an Ancient Power. I switch back to Gyarados for a Pumpy, but then he uses Ancient Power. He also boosts, which makes me shit my pants. Still, Vaporeon luckily manages to avoid crit and nuke him with 2 Ice Beams. I do the same to the 2 Dragonairs and use Tentacruel to finish Lance's Dragonite. Lance then tells me that the champion is none other than the douchebag himself, Alpha. I climb the stairs thinking I should just slam him with a straight right, but, sadly, the Pokemon League rules say otherwise, so I have to fight his bomb ass one last time. He has his little talk, and we start the dance. I kill the lead chicken with a Thunderbolt from Magneton, after which comes his Charizard. Tentacle deletes his ass, and then he goes to Pogzam. I use Hypno to taunt him and do some headbutts, but he heals, and I have to switch to Gyarados. I use the shot to set up a Dragon Dance with Gyarados and delete him with EQ. The next guy is Rhydon, but his high defense scared me, so I switch to my Vaporeon. Surf finishes, Exeggutor comes. I go to my Magneton and drop a whole bunch of Thunderbolts to kill him. I decide to risk my Magneton for a Thunderbolt, but it turns out I'm actually faster, so, just like that, I send Alpha back to Daisy's lap and become the Pokemon League champion. All in all, I really enjoyed nuking meager AI Pokemon in a sadistic reverie this run, and even started to believe I'm doing good against the vanilla game. Still, I have to give myself flowers and say that I am definitely getting better, since I beat the game in one attempt, and with just 2 deaths, which could have been avoided had I paid closer attention. For example, last time I wiped 3 times before I beat the champion. You should also definitely watch that video, and I ain't joking. Do it now and subscribe. I don't give a shit about how you feel. Those of you who already watched the last video know that this is part 2 of my mega challenge, about which you can also learn in the aforementioned masterpiece, as well as my second ever Nuzlocke challenge. I definitely am getting better, and am also already heavily cooking for part 3 of this never-seen-before attack on the Nuzlocking throne. Next time we are tackling a Nuzlocke challenge of Pokemon Soul Silver and are meaning heavy business. Comment if there is something you would like to add to the challenge, and I will pretend I am taking your opinion in consideration if it is a bad idea, and, if it is actually good, I will pretend I thought of it before you and sell it as mine. Also subscribe. I'll see you next time. Get off my face now.